Hi guys, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and today we're going to be taking a look at the HollyLand Mars 300, which will be launched this week at NAB. So it is a video transmitter and receiver. It is great for streamers, for anybody that does wedding videography that would like to be able to stream their wedding live into YouTube or Facebook or even Twitch. That's what we actually use it for, is for Twitch, so we can live stream. I have a separate live stream that I do for Magic the Gathering, which is a paper card game that's very popular throughout the world, and we use these to stream live video feed right upstairs to our camera so we don't have to run 40 foot of HDMI cable. So these things were sent out to me a couple weeks ago. I've been testing them out. I've really enjoyed them. You get a receiver and a transmitter. And so I'm gonna go over some of the technical specs. I'm gonna talk about how I've actually used it, some things that I do and don't like about it. And then we'll actually hook it up so you guys can actually see how well it works. And it has super low latency. I guess one of the big drawbacks is that it doesn't do 4K, it only does 1080p. But again, it has super low latency for 1080p footage, which I think is pretty awesome. So let's just go over. These things are good for up to 300 feet is what they claim. They each take roughly 6 watts or a little bit under 6 watts to actually power. You do have the option to power them with the Sony NP-F750 batteries. They just kind of pop on the back and then power it, and you can just take them right off. And you have a second option that actually plugs directly into either unit and will plug into the wall. Now you only get one of these. I don't know why they only added one. I'm sure they have a reason. Probably trying to make it more wireless, so there's less wires being connected to it. For me as a streamer, having the option of 2 of these, so I can have one plugged into the wall with the camera and then one plugged in upstairs when it's going straight from, and it's being transmitted onto the computer through our capture card, which would be really nice. I'm sure they're gonna have an option down the line where you can buy a second power cord. So I'm gonna reach out to them and see if I can get a second power cord sent out. Again, I said they can get up to 300 feet. The really nice thing is that when it's running out of the camera, you have a loop option. So one HDMI cable can be connected into the transmitter, which this is the receiver, so this is the transmitter that would sit on top of the camera here. And so mainly the really nice thing is that I can actually have a second monitor. So if I still want to have a monitor connected to my camera itself, but still send the information to a capture card or to a TV or monitor wirelessly, I have that option, so I can have one connected to the camera and then one being sent off to another monitor wirelessly, which is really nice. Again, you have that same option where you can have you can pretty much have you have 2 line HDMI outs right here. So you could have 2 different monitors connected into the receiver, which I really, really like. Now, the furthest that I have actually tested these is around about 100 feet or so, maybe a little bit less, and they have worked flawlessly, and I've been really, really impressed. Now, they're pretty much plug and play. They're really easy to set up, and they do have little pair buttons on each side. Of course, we'll cut to some B-roll of that, and then you have your on and off button here at the bottom. So they really work well. The first time I hooked them up, I literally turned them on, hit the pair button, they paired, and instantly started working. And then you do have a hot shoe option, which you can screw in, or if you don't want the hot shoe, that can be taken off. I've just gone and left it on. I definitely use the hot shoe when it's sitting on top of the camera, making things much easier. And then you do have 1/4 inch hookups here at the bottom as well. So if you want to plug it into something that takes 1/4 inch or like one of those mini tripods or something like that, you have that option as well. And then one other thing that I noticed that I really wish that they had was the option to be powered via USB. Since they don't use a lot of wattage, most power banks these days are actually could easily power these, but you don't get that option. Unfortunately, you do have what's called you do have a mini, I guess the mini USB Android hookup for if you need to upgrade, if they come out with a new firmware, and that's how you're going to upgrade your firmware that way. So it would be nice if these could be powered via power bank or via USB. Unfortunately, that is not an option. So you do have to power via AC power. and or battery power, which they last for quite a while with the battery power. I've never actually run through one of my smaller Sony batteries, so it's worked out very well. I'm very impressed with the system. Now, things to mention, other things I guess to mention are they are going to run you around $450 to $500. I don't really know how that compares to other options in the market, but for how well these work, I feel like $500 is a really good price point for these, especially for us as we do a lot of streaming. And this really cuts down on the setup time because we just hook one of these up and it just sends the signal right upstairs to the second floor of my house. And I'm able to actually stream right live very comfortably, which I really like because it was a pain running 50, 60 feet of HDMI cable up to my, well, it probably was more around 40 to 50 feet of HDMI cable every time. And that cable was always in the way. So now we have a lot less wires set up with this system. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually set up the system and on my camera that you guys are watching this video on, and we're gonna set up a monitor, and you're actually gonna be able to see the latency. And if it's really close, I mean, we haven't had our latency max, the worst that it's been is maybe 2 seconds, and usually it's less than that. It's honestly probably less than a second of latency, which I absolutely love. So I'll be right back once we've got that all set up. I have now set the system up on my first camera, which I'm looking at you guys right now. We do have a secondary camera so you can actually see the monitor, the big TV, so you can actually get a feel of the latency with me standing next to it so you can actually see the movement. HollyLand has made a really cool product. Like I said, they're going to be launching it this week at NAB. So we'll be launching this video, of course. So of course you guys can go check it out. We'll have links down in the description, a card up here, a link at the end of the video for you to go check it out, read up on it, maybe buy it if you're interested. Like I said, I've been really happy with it. We mostly use it for streaming. Now, as far as the latency goes, we do get a little bit of latency on our end, as you guys can see, but there really isn't any latency on the people watching our stream because we just wait a few seconds so that it just looks like constant stream, even though there's latency on our end, what we see behind the scenes people watching us live or not. Now, again, this also would work great for a director if he needed a wireless setup and he wanted a monitor, bigger or smaller. I mean, we do have like a little 7-inch 1080p monitor as well that, a director could be holding and watching. Of course, there's going to be small amounts of latency for that. So there's a lot of uses for a product like this, I believe, in the market right now at this price point, which is around $450 to $500. And of course, if you wait probably 6 months, you'll start to be able to pick up used ones for $350 to $400 if it's something that you really want. I'm really impressed with it. Like I said, probably one of the biggest things that I think they should do is they should add a second plug, AC plug, so that you can plug both of them. You don't have to have the battery, so that you're able to power these right off the bat, right out of the box, where this you can only power one at a time because they only give you one AC power. So I'm very happy with it. We are going to be testing it out more. Like I said, we've only had it for like 2 weeks. So the plan is to test it out more over the next couple months. And if there are things that we like or don't like about it as we test it more, of course, we'll probably make another video. But I wanted to get this video out because as they're launching it, I wanted to launch this video with them to kind of push the product. Of course, I'm not paid to sponsor the product. If I didn't like the product, I'd be, as you guys know, I'd be quite honest about it. But I have been very, very happy with the product so far, and I hope it keeps working as well as it is now. Again, they do say you can get up to 300 feet. The most we've been in is between 60 to 80 feet as a test, and we didn't have any issues. We were still getting that same amount of latency as you guys can see right now. So yeah, so as always, guys, we'll catch you next time. You guys have made it this far. If you want to check out our newest video, it will be right here. If you want to check out the product, it will be down here. If you do happen to click on it and purchase it, it does give us a little bit of commission, and that helps me a lot keep making these videos. And of course, guys, right down below, go and leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, follow along. We'll catch you next time.